Last time on Smallville, Season 11, featured right here at Comicstorian. We've learned the new status quo for Superman and learned about various characters that we always wanted to see in Superman, but never got to, and also where various people are located. We learned about Batman and Nightwing. We discovered the fate of Bart Allen. We discovered the fate of Supergirl, and we learned where Booster Gold had gone. But now, there may be one question that you've all been asking since we started. Where is Lana? Well, today, we're going to do a side story that explains that to you. You have found yourself at the Comicstorian channel, where we dive into the lore of your favorite pop culture universe, using the comic books, the video games, and the movies to bring you an audio drama, a synopsis of your favorite adventures. And today, we're bringing you Smallville, Valkyrie. The plane streaks across the sky over the Atlantic Ocean. So what's he really like? A small voice asks Lois over the seat behind her. Who? She asks, turning to see the young blonde-haired girl staring back at her wearing a Superman shirt. Superman, duh? Lois leans in with a smile, whispering to the little girl that he's faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but the little girl just pouts. She knew all of that. I mean, is he nice or not? She asks, and Lois nods and smiles. He is the nicest, sweetest, most caring man in the world, she told her. She stood up, heading towards the plane's bathroom, and along the way, though, she ran into two flight attendants, who asked her the very same questions. You're Lois Lane! You know him! They both exclaimed. Their questions dip into the personal, with Lois looking at them in anger. How much man is steel? They both asked with a smile. Meanwhile, at the Daily Planet headquarters in London, Perry White's phone suddenly buzzes. He picks it up hearing the voice of one of his best reporters on the other side. Lois, aren't you supposed to be halfway through the desert by now? He asks, and she looks down at her hands in cuffs. I had a bit of a disagreement with the aircrew and the marshal, she tells him. Luckily, the UN showed up and they uncuffed her, and Lois hangs up on Perry, jumping into one of the UN Humvees. Short time later, the convoy is driving near Tanasha, Africa. Lois holds up her tape recorder to the soldiers in her vehicle. So what do you know about this angel of the plateau? She asks. They quickly explain that the local warlords take children from the villages to be their soldiers. The angel takes the fight to the warlords and frees the children, although they've never been seen again. Lois looks out at the world around her, at the women and children of the village just trying to live their lives, when suddenly, rounds pop against the bulletproof glass of the Humvee. Ambush! One of the soldiers yell. From the alleys and broken down cars of the village, the soldiers spring up, firing their AK-47s. The UN troops disembark, ordering Lois to stay in the Humvee. She waits for all of a few seconds before trying to push her way free, when suddenly the Humvee is rocked by an explosion and she's thrown clear. She comes to amid the haze and dust of the battle, and a soldier is leaning down to her trying to pull her clear. Lane, sit rep! He screams. Green, with a little yellow around the edges, she coughs at him. She hangs her arm free, losing her Superman signal watch in the process. Bullets begin to kick up the dust and they snap past her head as the two of them run for cover. The hiss of an RPG can then be heard behind them, and another Humvee explodes, cartwheeling through the air. And then a truck fell on her. Lois gasps in surprise as she watches her death coming straight at her. She covers her head, waiting for the inevitable, yet it doesn't come. Turning back, she sees a figure holding the Humvee over their head. She stares, stunned, amazed that Clark came even though she didn't have the watch. I might be super, but I'm certainly no man, a familiar voice tells her. Lana Lang reaches down, pulling Lois to her feet. The soldiers come forward, opening fire on the Angel of the Plateau, with Lana standing her ground, trying to catch the bullets in her hands. The rounds fall uselessly to the ground before her. Finally, the child soldier's weapons click empty and Lana steps forward. You don't have to be victims any longer, she tells them, as she reaches out, taking the weapons and placing them on the ground. Lois watches as she takes the children's hand and leads them away. She holds up her phone, snapping a couple quick photos. And one of the soldiers tell her that they should be getting back to base, but they can't order her to do anything, so she vaults the hood and chases after Lana. You got your front page! What more do you want? The soldier screams. The rest of the story! She calls over her shoulder. Later, Lois and Lana stand outside the Angel's sanctuary. It's beautiful, isn't it? She asks with a smile. Lois is stunned as she looks up the wall that Lana created with old tanks and Humvees. It's their sanctuary, Lana tells her as they walk inside. The two walk through the compound, with Lana explaining that she had to leave after everything that had happened in Metropolis. After her Prometheus suit gave her powers and absorbed so much kryptonite radiation that she couldn't go anywhere near Clark. I wanted to be somewhere I felt I could make a difference, she explained. Lana and Lois look as a group of children play a game of soccer. And when the sun goes down, she sees that her children are safe. so Lana does feel that she's making a difference. But there's always another battle, there's always another fight. These children deserve to know what it's like to have a childhood, she tells Lois, watching the children at play. All children deserve that. Lana tells Lois about her contact within the warlord armies, that bringing the children back to their village would only make them and their families a target. She reaches down, embracing several of them in a hug. Here, the only person the warlords can retaliate against is me. In Tanasha, a group of warlords are actually coming together though right now, arguing about what they're going to do about the Angel of the Plateau. They fight, they argue, and one suggests that possibly they can reason with this angel. Gunshots echo in the small room, and the former warlord then lays dead on the ground, with one of the warlords finally quieting the others, telling them that he has brought in a consult. Let a problem from the west be dealt with a solution of the same, he tells them, and the door swings open with John Corben standing in the entryway, his chest glowing with a green light. Back at Lana's sanctuary, two old friends continue to catch up on old times, with Lois filling her in on the newest schemes that Lex has been up to. Lana offers Lois some stew that one of the children made, that all he wants to do is learn how to cook. The region just needs to breathe, to stand on its own with fear or hate, Lana tells her. But Lois thinks that is a lot of responsibility for Lana to take on herself, even with her superpowers. Lana pauses, looking down at the food in her bowl. This mission has helped her find herself one piece at a time. I feel like we should hug, Lois asks, reaching her hand out. But suddenly the women are interrupted by a roaring explosion outside. They found us! Lana exclaims as Lois pulls back on her bulletproof vest. She turns, but Lana is already flying out the door, telling her to keep up. Everything is moving in slow motion as Lana dashes across the compound, moving past the children running away from the explosions. But suddenly she's yanked out of her run as an arm collides with her. She moves fast though, her feet flying up, kicking Corben in the face. The villain staggers away, smiling as he sees Lois crossing the compound. Didn't expect to see you here, Brown Eyes, he smiles. You might want to get the hell out of here. Things are about to get messy, he tells her, and Corben and Lana begin to lock in a fight, with Lois trying to help by swinging a pipe. Corben smiles as he snags it out of the air though, tossing it aside. You smell fantastic, he grins. Lois tries to throw a punch, but Corben blocks it. But she distracts him long enough for Lana to get the drop on him, kicking him away. Lana then moves fast, throwing punch after punch, with Lois trying to warn her and Corben grabbing her in a chokehold. His kryptonite heart begins to leech off the Prometheus tech that is powering Lana, and he gasps as the extra power fills his system. What did you do to me? He asks as he throws her away, his body irradiated with kryptonite radiation. And the nanites begin to react as Lois tries to pull Lana clear. Old weaponry and armor begin to pull towards Corben, arming and shielding him. I don't know about you two, but my day just got a whole lot better, he smiles. When overhead, a military chopper spotlights the situation. On board, the pilots radio back to General Lane that they have found the target. Corben looks up, smiling as the nanites react again, pulling the chopper out of the sky. The rotors pulling to him like the other weapons. The pilots bail out, yelling as they are pulled from the sky, with the rotor now spinning around Corben. He turns once more to Lois and Lana. Lady, I don't know what my heart pulled from your skin, but I am loving it. He smiles. The rotors all begin to spin through the air, with Lois and Lana diving at the last second, while the sharp metal pierces the wall behind them. The women begin to run, but Corben begins to follow them. Once I'm done with you, I'm gonna head back stateside and give the Blur, or should I say, Superman, a little taste of what a man of steel really is. Lois and Lana try to figure out how to stop the mercenary as the soldiers arrive and their weapons begin to open up. The bullets never meet Corben though, as he uses his new powers to block them, finally ripping them from the hands of the military. He turns, aiming that weapon at Lana. Hey, Angel, catch! Lois dives in Lana's way though, catching the rounds in her vest, with Lana diving for her friend, making sure that she's okay. I knew my legs and face would be fine. Lois coughs. My boobs, on the other hand. Avenge my boobs! Lana moves quickly, jumping inside one of the trucks nearby. She drives at Corben, ducking as he opens fire on the large vehicle. The truck smacks into him and she runs away, giving Lois a clear shot with the RPG that she's shouldering. Hey, crazy! Here comes the airplane! Corben struggles free, smiling as he pulls the weapon from her. And Lois doesn't slow down though, turning back to the soldier behind her. Sidearm, she orders. She catches it midair and turns, sighting quickly. Oh, Corben whispers as he realizes what's about to happen. Lois fires, hitting the RPG and catching the villain in the explosion. A few moments later, the two women stand over the fallen mercenary, and together they pry the heart off of his chest. Sunlight looks down on the scene the next day as Lois and Lana stand on a cliff, overlooking the UN soldiers cleaning up after the battle. Lois tells Lana that Corben is being moved to DEO, or whatever that is. She also lets her know that she'll be leaving out the Angel of the Plateau from her story. No coming home for you then, huh? Lois asks her. Lana shakes her head. Even without her powers, these children are gonna need her. I'll just steer clear of tanks in my spare time, she tells her. The two women look out on the sun as it raises in the distance. Here in this place, doing this work, even without my powers, I've never felt stronger. And that's a fun little side story in our ongoing coverage of Smallville Season 11. If you want to catch this coverage every Sunday, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments down below what you are liking the most about Season 11. And if you don't have a favorite moment, just say, I want more Season 11, because it's going to get YouTube to put it in the algorithm and keep it rotating. Now, first, I want to thank you for your time today watching this video, but I also want to let you know about another channel that we are working on. It's a channel called Tales of Earth. If you go there, you'll see conspiracy podcasts and various conspiracies and weird facts about the Earth explained to you in a narrative format very close to what we do here. It's a project that we all enjoy and we're all working on, and we'd love to have you a part of it. Just come on over to the channel, Tales of Earth, and we'll see you there. Now, thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.